You ever get fined for the color red? Not speeding, not trespassing, just the color red. Yeah, that happened. One Saturday morning, I was in my garage, which I like to think of as my sacred space, the one corner of Crestwood Meadows not yet sterilized by beige siding and HOA paranoia. I was cleaning my SAR gear, just got back from a muddy training up, and honestly, I felt good. There's something peaceful about taking care of the tools that might save a life someday. And then, the shadow. You know when someone walks up behind you and their energy just ruins the air? That was Brenda Miller. HOA president, general of the Beige Army, and self-appointed dictator of suburban aesthetics. She stood there with that damn clipboard like she was writing citations from Mount Sinai. Mark, she said, all syrupy fake sweet, just a friendly word about your mailbox. I should have known then. Nothing good ever starts with just a friendly word when it comes from Brenda. Turns out the crime of the day was my mailbox flag. Too red. Specifically, not the approved crimson. She actually said that with a straight face. My outgoing mail flag, that tiny flip-up thing wasn't bland enough. I laughed. Big mistake. Brenda doesn't do laughter. She does rules. She handed me a violation notice, $25, and just as she was leaving, she looked up and spotted the antenna on my roof. My beloved Diamond X50, a tool that connects me to the county's emergency network essential for my SAR comms. To Brenda, it was apparently an unsightly vertical obstruction. She called it a skyline detractor. We don't even have a skyline, this is the suburbs. The only thing cresting our meadows is the top of our minivan. That's when it clicked. This wasn't about red flags or antenna poles, it was about power. Brenda was the kind of person who lived to grind down anything that didn't fit her mode. And me. I'm not exactly a mode guy. Later that day, I jumped on a call with Dave, my best friend, fellow misfit, and co-conspirator. She finally noticed the rig, I told him. He almost choked on his sandwich. Brenda had been coming for me for years, trash cans not hidden fast enough, wind chimes too melodic, even fined me for planting a blueberry bush. Yep, unapproved foliage. But the antenna. That was our final boss battle. And what she didn't know was, I was ready. See, after the blueberry incident, Dave and I got creative. 6 months of weekend work, a fake patio project, and a whole lot of concrete later, we built Project Camara, a 50-foot telescoping mast, buried under a concrete slab, connected to a satellite uplink and wired through my garage. Overkill? Probably. Satisfying? Absolutely. Then the storm came. A real one, not metaphorical high winds, heavy rain, people getting stranded. My pager lit up, missing hikers in the national forest. I wasn't going out there myself, but I was assigned net control, the voice on the radio, keeping teams coordinated, safe, connected. Everything was working until suddenly, it wasn't. Total radio blackout. First thought. Equipment failure. Second. Interference. I ran a spectrum analysis and saw it, a dirty, illegal, brute force broadband jammer wiping out all local bands. Strong signal, too. Close. And wouldn't you know it, I spotted it. A blinking red light on a black box, sitting in Brenda's window, nestled right between her creepy porcelain cats. She jammed the SAR mission. Not because she understood what she was doing, I'm sure she thought it was a harmless prank to stop my annoying ham radio hobby. But it wasn't harmless. It was a federal crime. It was endangering lives. And it was personal. So I went to the garage, opened the cabinet, flipped the cover, and pressed the big red button. Project Camara roared to life. The patio slab lifted, hydraulics whirred, and that mast rose from the earth like something out of a sci-fi movie. Antennas unfolded. Satellite dish locked in. My new tower stood tall, taller than Brenda's roof, taller than her ego. It gleamed in the stormlight, a literal beacon of defiance. I rerouted the comms through the satellite uplink, bypassed the jammer, and got back on mine. My voice came in clear over the net. SANET control to base camp, this is WX9PPD. Do you copy? A pause. Then, holy hell, Mark, you're 5x9. Where are you transmitting from, space? Close enough, I said. And then came the scream. Through the storm, from across the street. Brenda had seen the tower. Next thing I know, cops are pulling up, sirens flashing. Brenda's in silk pajamas in the rain, shrieking about Russian spies and mushroom towers. Officers Ramirez and Gable arrive, one seasoned and tired, the other young and stunned. I invited them in, offered coffee, showed them everything: my FCC license, my search and rescue credentials, the jammer signal on my analyzer, still active. Then came Dave, bless his chaotic soul, rolling up in a van labeled Suburban Satellite Solutions, clipboard, jumpsuit, hard hat and all. Played the technician part like he was born for it. Here for the post-launch diagnostics, he said, giving me a wink. It was perfect theater. Brenda, not so amused. She confessed to using the jammer, said she bought it online to shut up the antenna. FCC showed up that evening. They took statements, evidence, everything. Brenda was slapped with federal interference charges, forced to resign from the HOA, and put her house on the market within a week. Her reign was over. Crestwood changed after that. Folks started planting whatever they wanted. The wind chimes came back. Someone even painted their door purple. The infamous bylaw about rooflines. Repealed unanimously. I got a formal letter from the FCC thanking me for maintaining emergency communications and permission to keep the tower permanently. Now, it stands there like a monument to preparedness and spite. Some people decorate with lawn gnomes. Me? I've got a 50-foot satellite mast. Last week, my neighbor texted me his kid's drone got stuck on the dish. Wanted to know if I could lower the tower a bit. Dave nearly spit out his beer laughing. Brenda. Heard she sold the place to a guy who's really into astronomy. She told him the neighborhood has a light pollution problem. I guess she's not entirely wrong. So, what do you think? Did I go too far? Or was it about time someone pushed back against the HOA insanity? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious where you stand on justice, antennas, and the fine art of suburban revenge.